Hey everybody, Jesse Reagan here. Of course, I want to do a mic check. I want to make sure everybody can hear us okay. I want to make sure I got this, the video, the Hangout link working properly. Ken, give me a thumbs up or just say, yay, everyone can hear us and that they can see us as well. Obviously, this is really important. So I want to give you guys a quick update. First of all, this Hangout here is just going to be, I like to kind of call it like a roundtable type discussion of 3 completely different styles. I brought these guys on for a reason because they all do their own thing and they do it really well. So just to kind of tell you guys, there's no right or wrong way to do this. As long as you're being true to yourself and who you are, you'll find your tribe on here. You're going to attract your crew and you're going to build your team the right way. So before we get into that, which is going to be all about live video, I wanted to update you guys on Module 3. I guarantee you it will be out this weekend, probably by Sunday, a little bit later than I wanted, but that's okay because right now the only thing that's not working is the little preview button in the Power Editor, which isn't a deal breaker for me. I can explain around that easily. Ken and I were just discussing isn't working for him right now either, but that's okay because we can easily figure it out and walk around that. It's just a preview. It's not going to have any effect on your ads. So we will get Module 3 done and it will be out to you by Sunday. So celebrate that, but also realize we're doing this video here, this Hangout, for a reason. Before in the previous one, which I hope you guys have watched with Mark Pachetti, we talked about telling your story and why the things like being interviewed are so important. It's super important to just let it go and start realizing that you're not on here to please everyone. Earlier, I don't know if, Ken, you saw this, but someone posted that they were saying, you know, hey, this is my mother-in-law is mad about this or upset. Or you guys, no matter what, I promise you, the more you're real on your page, you're going to get people that might be a little upset about it or wonder what you're doing. And it's probably people that are well-meaning. It's nothing against them. But if I actually could make the argument that if you're not being real enough, if you don't have a few people that are you ruffle a few feathers. Jitana, would you agree with that? You kind of got to ruffle a few feathers sometimes, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Well, you're going to get haters no matter what you talk about. So
yeah, regardless of the topic. And I'm sure you've had family that have been upset about you doing this or whatever else. But you have to stay true to who you are.
Absolutely. Actually, my biggest hater was my brother, and now he's on my team. So you just have to stay consistent and hold your ground.
And I think for a lot of people, and you chime in, you guys can chime in, but I think for a lot of people, they're not necessarily upset about it. They're confused and they don't understand what you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
correct.
because, go ahead.
I was going to say that a lot of people are afraid they're going to be left behind, especially your family and your friends. They don't know what you're doing unless you're inviting them and you're telling them what's going on. They're feeling like they're losing you because you're changing into a different person. And so I always tell, like, even spouses, invite your spouse to come into the challenge group, even if they're not going to work out, just so they can see what you're doing and who you're talking about and who you're talking to and things like that. And it seems like once you get them involved and you actually you reach out to them and you tell them what's going on and you invite them along the journey, then it seems like they will support you a little more.
That's actually a really great tip. Inviting the people that are maybe a little bit confused about what you're doing or what's going on and saying, hey, let me just walk you through it and kind of share with you why I'm sharing my story, why I'm doing these live videos, and why that I am a coach in this case and what I'm trying to gain from it and inspire other people. When you're really leading with value and leading with the heart, people aren't going to get too mad at you. If you're really true to who you are and you're a good person that truly wants to help people, you won't have much to worry about. So I just wanted to let you guys know that Module 3 will be coming out. You're going to learn all about finding what we call a winning ad, and then you're going to use that winning ad to blast it out to a bunch of different audiences. We're going to show you an exact system about how to use that will be used inside of the Power Editor that will set up very, very strategic split testing with your ads. So no more boosting posts. I don't want to see anybody doing that anymore. No more guessing, no more anything like that. I want everyone to realize that there is a system to this. There's a method to all this madness, and it's about being efficient with your ads so you can absolutely get the best cost per engagement. Everything on your page, you know exactly, every dollar you spend, you know exactly what you're getting back. So we're going to go into all that. You're going to be blown away by Module 3. So let's start. First of all, I'm just going to ask, starting with Jatana and then Ken and then Sarah, how, when did you start doing live video, Jatana? Did you just start right away when it came out?
I think I saw another coach pop up in my news feed. I'm like, what in the world? What are they doing? They're like talking real time. And so I'm kind of ballsy or daresy or whatever you want to say. And I'm like, I want to give that a shot. I always did kind of pre-scripted videos, and I found myself wasting so much time trying to make it perfect. If I would like mess up or I'd totally lose my train of thought, which we do all the time. And I would spend way too much time trying to make it perfect. And so I have found that live video has just been like, I can just talk, I can be me. People can get comfortable with who Jatana is. They actually love the awkwardness and the nuances that can happen in videos because I feel like they're sitting there right there with you. So I just kind of dove in and gave it a shot to see how it would work, see how people would respond. Sometimes they were duds and sometimes they were hits. And like once I started getting hits, I'm like, all right, this is what my people like. And so I spent more time in that area. Sorry,
right on. I'm getting a little bit of an echo on your end, so you might have to mute and unmute. Ken, how about you then? Did you start doing that right away, your live video, or did you kind of embrace it after you came in the training?
The first time I saw live video was actually through Periscope. And the first night that I logged on to Periscope, I was on there for over 2 hours just following people, just watching their live videos. And then I actually found 3 people that I really liked. And I seriously got addicted to it. Every night before bed, I would just sit there and watch what they had to say that day. And, you know, like I was just kept going back. But I was like, I will never be able to do a live video until I came into your training. And you told me, like, you got it, or you told everybody that you have to do live video. And once we started doing it, or I started doing it, it's so much easier than recorded video because you can't go back and everything flows. So everybody get out there and just start doing it.
Sarah, what you kind of started off with a big bang with some of your live videos. But why do you think live video is so much easier for you than recorded?
I think for the same reason kind of everyone else is saying, when you do live video, you hit go and that's it. You can't really go back and critique yourself. And I think a lot of us have that tendency. So when you record a video, you're way more judgmental. You're way more aware of the fact that you are recording yourself, and you tend to watch it. And then you're like, nope, don't like that. And I need to delete that. And you just keep redoing it and you just waste time and energy. Whereas for live video, you hit go. And, you know, literally shit happens when you're doing a live video. My daughter has had nervous breakdowns and screams. My dogs go nutso and bark. My cat's screaming in the background. My phone has flung itself literally off of the tripod. It happened last night. And I'm like, oh shit.
I'm actually going to show that on here. I'm going to show that. I found it.
I was like, oh shit, in the middle of my video. And I'm like holding my phone, trying to figure out how to put it back in. So I like that I can just get on and I talk, and I can go forever if it weren't for the fact that I know I need to shut myself up, because I can dive into a topic and be passionate about it. And I'm engaging with people, and I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm recording myself when I do live video. And it takes practice to get to that point. But once you kind of realize it, it is so much easier and it's so much fun.
So I think the first part, and the reason I asked this, you guys, is the first thing is, I think for a lot of live video, we use a different part of our brain when we know we're being recorded versus just being live. I truly do believe that. And this is coming from a guy that records modules like nonstop. Ask Sarah. I'm recording modules almost every day. I'm updating training. I'm doing that. And I am like super critical of myself with the ums and the ahs and try to cut things out. But I think when you're just going like this, it's just more real. It's more conversational. That's why even you heard Mark say before, we should do almost everything with live video, because it's such a great way to set this up as far as branding yourself. Because when people come on and they start hearing your voice, they see your face, they know your mannerisms, it's going to create a different type of bond than just reading a post. And don't get me wrong, written posts are really important, but nothing will build up your brand like a live video, because they get to know who you are. Because remember, people aren't on here to go buy Beachbody products. They're not. They're on here to get to know other people. This is social media, and video is super important for that. So the first thing I want to start off with, and asking your guys' advice for this, is tell me what you would say before we get into how you do live video, okay? And how you set up topics and all that. I want you guys to give some advice. Ken, you've got a lot of coach. Sarah, you've helped a lot of people. And then when Jatana comes back, I'll ask her. How do you guys help someone get out of their shell? Ken, I'll start with you. How do you help some of your coaches kind of get over themselves, for lack of a better term?
You know, you've said it before in this training, it's analysis paralysis, and you just overthink things. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, this week I'm going to go live. And then all of a sudden it's next month and you're like, man, I didn't go live this whole month because I was thinking about the perfect thing to say. And I say, just do it. And I'll say, which day are you going to go live? And they'll tell me like a week from today. I'm like, no, today or tomorrow. Which day, today or tomorrow? And then, you know, we've done this to a couple people that are in the training right now, just starting, and they've like, thank you so much for making me pick a day. And they, you know, as soon as they go live, they go on our team page and they're like, okay, guys, go check it out. Like, I'm so excited I did it.
It is really, and again, this is brought up before, but I think when you can start just being yourself, it's really cathartic, is it not?
It definitely is, yeah. It's just,
free.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think, Sarah, I want to ask you this too, because with live video, I think for you, this is kind of part of your personal development, doing live video, is it not?
It is. So what's really benefited me in doing live videos is that everything I talk about in my videos is either stuff that I'm currently going through or I've gone through. And like I said, I've really fallen into personal development. And a lot of it does relate back to health, to being good at exercise, finding things that you love and that work for you, eating healthy, digestive issues, hormonal issues, thyroid issues. And I've fallen into this niche, and I feel like God kind of has put me there because I've had to suffer through it. But I think that for me, the reason that I love doing live video, and I've gotten to that point, and I'm able to, you know, join you guys on this hangout and engage in the group and answer questions, and I have people messaging me, and for me, it's just so easy because it's my passion now, and I can speak about my past openly, about the struggles I'm going through. I talk about pooping, and I talk about sex, and I talk about all kinds of things on my live video. But it's all real. And I think once your followers and your fans realize like, this girl is real and she's being open with us, they realize that you're a human, you're a person, you're not just this coach or this specific individual, and it doesn't matter the number on your page, but that you're willing to get on there and talk to them, and they feel like it's a one-on-one kind of conversation.
What do you have to say for people that feel scared to do it right away? What advice would you give someone that's really nervous? Because it's natural to be scared, right?
Yeah. So right when live video was like available, Jesse makes me test out everything, you guys. Like anything that's a new option on Facebook, Sarah, you got to go do this so I can share it in my group. And I'm like, hell no, I don't want to do live video. But whatever, I sucked it up and I did it. And I would say probably the first 2 weeks, I started out at once a week, worked up to 2 times a week. Now I'm doing 3. Occasionally. And when I first started, I was nervous because I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And, you know, I was looking at the numbers and, oh, no one's liking it. No one's commenting. And you just have to do it. Like everybody else said, you just have to get on and do it. And the more you get on and do it, the more comfortable you feel when you start to realize what the people who are watching like. And you start to find topics that you can truly be passionate about, that you're talking about, and people can recognize that because they will. They'll know if you're reading notes or you're talking from your heart about the topic. That's what makes it fun and easy. So that's what I would say. I encourage you just to get on, pick a topic that you like. Like I saw someone post in the group about curling their hair with a straightener, which congrats, because it's so hard to do. But anything, like you could talk about your cat, you could talk about your dog, you can talk about your kid, you can do a video of cooking, whatever, just whatever seems to feel good to you, do that. Start with things that are easy and come naturally to you. And then as you start branding yourself, learning what your followers like, your fans like, and what makes you light up from the inside out, then you can kind of follow that path and incorporate that. So that's what I would say. You just have to do it.
Okay, Jatan, I want to ask you as well, if you're still there. But I want to ask you what you do to kind of help your coaches. Well, kick them in the butt. Let's be honest. You have to kick them in the butt a little bit, right? So what do you say to some of your team?
Absolutely. Sorry, I was trying to figure out the headphones so that you wouldn't get feedback, and so Josh is here, like trying to plug in.
Hey, Jesse.
Josh, what's going on, brother?
Doing great, brother.
I don't know if it's gonna work, so I'll try it real quick. Can
you hear us? Test.
No, you can take them out.
Okay.
I tried earlier, it didn't work. It's okay.
Why don't you Bluetooth connect your headphones?
It's okay.
I think we don't have an echo right now. We should be good. So just fire away. Let's say, Jatan, I'm one of your coaches right now. I know I need to do live video, but I am nervous, and I got a big pimple here, so I need to hide that and everything,
Put some concealer on, you're good.
Okay.
Well, one of the things I tell my coaches is we are all an expertise in something. There's something that we could literally talk about all day long. And we all have that something, whether it be parenting or it be, for me, it's makeup or straight curling my hair with a flat iron. Like, I love going live about stuff like that. It's stuff that I naturally can talk about and have fun with. And so I tell my coaches, I want you to kind of do a self-inventory. Is it echoing?
No.
Oh, okay. To do a self-inventory of what you're passionate about, what your expertise is. And when I say expertise, I use it very loosely. But things that you have fun and that you enjoy talking about, and start there. I mean, going deep into your thoughts and things like that, of course, like I'd start crying the first time I did it if I tried to go deep into my thoughts. But talking about how to blend my eyeshadow, easy peasy. My audience thinks it's valuable. And people are connecting and commenting, asking where I got products and things like that. So that's where I tell them to start, and then kind of kick them and say, go, now go try it.
All right, so let's go from that first. So I want you guys to take some notes here, and what she said and what all these guys have said is that the first important step is just start, because I know there are plenty of people here live right now. We have about 100 people on there. I know there are plenty of people right now live that have not done one live video at all. And they're like, oh, maybe later, like Ken said, I'll get to it next week. The important thing, and a lot of people always ask, that little mysterious Facebook algorithm. Well, I'll give you guys a big tip. Facebook loves live video. They do. They're going to give you more love in the algorithm the more live video you do. Okay? So even if it's just talking about how much you love this pen right here and how well this pen flows when you're writing, that's okay. Just start off small. Just introduce yourself on your page. The more you do it, even if you do little baby steps, after a while, like I've did probably, I don't even know, hundreds of these Hangouts. The first one, I know I wasn't as good as I move forward. I still make mistakes, but I'm super comfortable now doing these because I've done so many of them. But it takes practice, and you got to work up to it. And so I want you to understand that it's really important that you just start little baby steps. And they don't have to be 20-minute videos like Sarah does. I'm back there tapping my watch. Come on, let's go. But like, she's providing a lot of value and she's having fun. But I can tell from my wife, these videos are absolutely part of her therapy in a way. It's her helping people. It's her being real. So she does them as much for herself as she does for her audience, because she's sharing her knowledge and her passion. And it does feel good when you know that your videos are helping people. Even if you helped one person, isn't it worth it? So that's the first takeaway I want you guys to say, to write down or remember is just go. Just go, and be yourself on there. Next, I want to ask these guys, how do you come up with topics? What do you do? Do you have a notepad where you write stuff down, or what do you do when you actually hit play and you want to talk about? Are you just winging it? Sarah, we'll start with you and then we'll work our way backwards. So what do you do, Sarah, when you come up with your topics?
So coming up with topics, it's kind of taken me a while to find what kind of works for me, and again, what works for my fans and followers. So I try to mix up my videos and create like, and be consistent is another huge thing. So like, I try to do my videos around 7 p.m. Mountain time, and that seems to be the best time for me. I've noticed actually a little bit later does even better. But so finding a time and then setting the days helps to be consistent, because then people know, hey, she's going to be live. I want to go watch her. It's okay to just pop on and do random ones as well. But that being said, when you are creating topics or finding topics, like Jitana said, find things that you're passionate about. If I were to get on here and talk about how to put on makeup or curl my hair with a straightener, like it would be literally I could go on America's Funniest Home Videos, because I do not wear makeup. I cannot put on makeup for the life of me. And trying to curl my hair with the straightener is about what it looks like right now. So that's not me. But what I can talk about is my life, my issues that I've struggled with, my digestive issues, being on synthetic hormones, what worked for me to get off of them, my past dealing with depression and anxiety and abuse, and how I've moved on and created a new mindset. So I take things that I can relate to, or things that I'm feeling that day. If I'm having a bad day and I'm like, everything sucks today and I'm just miserable, then that night, my live video is most likely, without me even trying, gonna be about positivity. Like, be present in the moment, find joy in everything, even the negative. And it just kind of happens without trying. And then when you find topics that you really like and that you enjoy talking about, what I recommend is, if you need to keep yourself on track, which I need, because like Jesse said, he always is tapping his wrist. So I just I love using Bible verses in my videos. So I write down my Bible verse, and then I just kind of make myself little notes like, okay, this is my headers that I want to hit. Sometimes if it's a health related video, I have more notes because I want to make sure I have the correct information. Personal development, I can really just go. But just kind of giving myself notes that I can look down, make sure I know where I'm going, and kind of being aware of like, okay, I've talked about this, I need to keep moving, or this is going to be an hour video. And I find that that's really beneficial. If you do notes, which again, I think is extremely helpful, just make sure you're not staring at your notes like this the whole time, because people will call you out on it and like tell you, I didn't feel like that video was from your heart. I felt like you were reading your notes. So really be aware of that you're glancing down and you're looking back up, kind of like in high school and college when we had to do public speaking and it was like the worst thing ever. It's kind of the same thing. You just have to get up there. You just have to do it. And the more you do it, the better you get. You glance down, you look what you're talking about, and you do it next. So that's what I would suggest.
Yeah, so a couple of things before we move over to Ken, I want you guys to understand here is that she mentioned before that she kind of correlates it into, like I said, you can tell it's kind of therapeutic for her, because she mentioned like, hey, I'm having a bad day, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling a little negative, I'm going to do a video on positivity today. So this really comes full circle to what we say on here in the training, which is share your journey. And the struggle and the journey are all kind of tied together. And it doesn't mean you go on there and start crying and talk about how much your life sucks or whatever, how down you are, because you don't want to be, trust me, Facebook does not respond well to crying and negativity. I mean, complaining. You're going on there. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have a struggle, but talk about what you're doing about it too, to inspire people. You can get attention any way you want, but if you want to bring people into and attract them to you, talk about what you're doing about it too. So like I said, Sarah goes through all the normal stuff everyone else does, where we have our good days and our bad days and all that. She doesn't go on her page and try to be perfect or someone that's unattainable. She's real on her page and she shares everything that happens to her, but what she does about it as well. And that's where, when you bring it up in a conversational tone, which I'm going to show you some of her videos, I'll show you guys some examples, but if you bring it up in a conversational way about what you're doing, you'll get tons of comments, and you'll, even more importantly, you're going to get private messages thanking you and asking you. So Ken, talk about what you do when you guys are going, you and your wife, I think you guys do some videos together. Talk about kind of how you guys set stuff up, if you have like a specific topic you want to cover.
Sure. I think we have to go back and just say, who is our avatar, and pick a topic that your avatar wants to know about. I love sports, but that's not our avatar. So I'm not looking for guys that love sports. So I'm not going to go live and talk about sports. I'm going to talk about something that our avatar wants to hear about. Our avatar, the biggest objection we get from them is time. So we're not going to do a 15 or 20 minute live video. We're going to do a 4 to 5 minute live video, because that's what our objection is always about, is time. So we go back and we think about what did we not know before we started our journey, either health and fitness, about personal development, things like that, and what would they need to know? So we did a live video on how to cook brown rice. And it wasn't so much about the topic about cooking brown rice, but they got to see us, they got to see our smile, they got to see us dropping the spoon, you know, like all this stuff that's happening, they're getting to know you. And the best thing to do is get someone to like us, to trust us, or to know us. And live video is the easiest way to do that because we can't fake things. We can't edit our video, or we can't make a perfect post with our picture. So it's just getting out there and doing something and acting like no one's out there. You're talking to imaginary friends and you're just doing whatever you're doing, and it's fun.
You know, I will say too, I like that you bring that up, Ken, because, you know, we've never met in person, but we've done quite a bit of live video together. And I feel like I know Ken. I can tell Ken's a really nice guy. He's very passionate about what he does, and he loves helping people. It's obvious just getting to know him and talking to him. So that's what I want you guys to understand. You know, that's how you build your brand out. When people can start, like he said, the goal here with cold traffic and people that you do not know today but will tomorrow is get them to know, like, and trust you. When they start doing that, I mean, I see all the messages Sarah gets every single day from people asking for advice. When you kind of set yourself up, not necessarily as an expert, you don't have to be known as some expert like Jatana said earlier, but have when you have enough passion for something, people are going to start reaching out to you on it. And then that's where the conversations get started, and you're just providing value for others. Jatana, what do you do as far as, like, especially when you have a video that maybe it's deeper, you know, something that's, you know, that you want to talk about, or that there's a lot of things you don't want to forget on there. Do you write notes, or do you got it all up here?
I'm probably bad at this, but I don't take notes. I don't write notes, because if I write notes, I'll be the person, like right now, I have notes for you guys. And I literally want to stare at them the whole time. So I'm like, what's the point? They got to hear this. So I don't take notes. I am a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. I think I tend to draw people that are like that as well. I function well with people like that. So my videos are so opposite of probably everything we're talking about, and my audience thinks they're hilarious. If I get a package, people know Jatana's going to go live. So every time I get a package, I go live. And I'm talking about, like, somebody sent me a gift, or Beachbody sent me a gift. And I go live about that, and I'm opening it, and everybody's like, okay, hurry up. Why are you taking so long? I bring people on that little fun, exciting journey of opening it up. And it sounds so silly, but think about reality TV. Honestly, it's a hit because people want to know what's going on in people's lives. And so just like, is it Ken? Just like Ken said, making brown rice can seem so silly, but like they love watching them function as a couple doing something that they kind of want to know about. And it's the same thing for me. It's like, I just want to bring people into my world and have them get to know me, and they're either going to like me or they're not going to like me, and they're going to feel like I'm their friend. Like, the friendship and the relationship is growing right then and there in the silliest live video.
So I love that you said that, Jatana. Just like creating a little bit of the mystery, right? You like to do that, and you really kind of have yours based around just the energy and the fun, right? And you get crazy amounts of engagement. Your videos are a lot different than my wife's, who are more informative, helping, teaching. There's no right or wrong way to do this, you guys. And Ken's are kind of probably somewhere in the middle, you know, like, so there's no right or wrong way. That's what you need to take away here, okay? Sometimes it's just going live, talking about some new book you got. If you're reading personal development, you better be doing live video about it, all right? You better talk about even reading some passage or something that you love about this book. That's going to find ways to attract your tribe, connect with people, inspire others. Okay, so that's a very important aspect of this, that when you're doing it, you want to make sure that you're just kind of framing it and setting it up in a way that is just all about you. So it doesn't have to be, I mean, like she said with reality TV, let's be honest. Reality TV should be really boring if we think about it, but people are totally enthralled by it. They totally follow people going to the store, arguing, or whatever else is going on. You know, some of it's probably a little over the top, but it's okay to have lots of fun doing what you're doing on here, right? And just sharing your personal journey, your experiences. And like for Jatana, if she's getting something from Beachbody, what a cool way to be excited about what you're doing. and share that excitement, because energy and enthusiasm and passion are what attract other people to you. Okay, so it's really important that you remember that. And so there's no right or wrong way to get this done. Jatana, do you go live in like your groups a lot as well when you have bigger groups that you're working with?
Oh, absolutely. So I don't do any pre-recorded videos anymore. I run challenge group sneak peeks. So if I'm getting a group of prospects that are interested in doing a challenge group with me, which I don't know if everybody's a coach in here or what they do, but I get all my customers or prospects together, and then I go live and I share my story. I'm sharing how I started from day one to where I am now, and it's 100% live. And sometimes I'm getting like upset, not upset, but like I'm getting emotional, and they can feel that emotion of me saying, please stop doing this wrong. Let me help you. And so I'm talking directly to them like I'm sitting there at Starbucks with a coffee looking at them. And it's gotten so much better in my turnaround with my challenge groups, because people are like, all right, I'm in this. Let's do this, Jatana, rather than just popping them in a challenge group with a YouTube video that I want them to watch that was recorded 7 months ago. Totally different. So.
It's not authentic. That's not authentic, and people don't feel special. Ken, do you do the same thing in your groups? Are you going live inside of your free groups and your paid groups?
Free groups, absolutely. Once a day we go live, and it's helped our free groups so much in getting to know people. As for our challenge groups, we use the My Challenge Tracker app, so we can't do live video in there yet, which is terrible. We want to be doing that so bad.
We'll get into more with free groups, you guys, as we move forward. I want to share with you, and Ken, tell me if you can see my screen here. I want to share. Can you guys see my screen now?
It's black right now. There it is.
Okay, so this is a great still of my wife, but I want to share with you guys the deal last night. This was a video you did yesterday, right, Sarah?
Yeah, last night.
All right, here, I think I timed it perfectly, so check this out, you guys.
Okay, gotta be quiet.
So that was, Sarah, that was your video on, you were doing it on magnesium?
Yeah, so last night was supposed to be my quick like 5-minute video, and of course it was 15 minutes, but part of it wasn't my fault. But yeah, my phone just popped out of the thing, and I'm like, oh shit, and it fell down, and I'm like trying to grab it and regain like what the heck just happened, and then I'm like holding it, trying to fix my thing in the background while I'm still trying to talk. So stuff happens.
And we've had our daughter, now I know she's had, usually you'll have her in the background. You kind of like with dogs barking and everything. We got 2 dogs and 2 cats and a crazy daughter. You will just let things go, right? You just let it fly.
Yeah, I mean, now Jesse gets kind of angry because Adlin has had some pretty serious meltdowns, so he'll kind of take her out of the room as best as he can. But the dogs and the cats, they do their thing. But I mean, I did a lot of videos with our daughter in, and she loves it. And she gets excited even last night when I'm on, and she wants to come and say hi. And that's okay, but she wants to sit in a certain spot to do videos, and then she wants to have her face in, and she's reaching in front of me, and then she starts playing with toys. So you have to be a little bit careful as far as like having it like if they're playing with toys and then it's like Mickey Mouse playing and you're trying to talk. And so that's why we've had to like get rid of her a little bit for some of my videos. But I mean, I've had videos where in the middle of the video, she's screaming and I try to walk into another room and then she follows me and starts screaming there until Jesse's able to come down and get her away from me. So just go with the flow when things like that happen, because people understand. And the engagement that I got when things like that happen, like with my phone falling or with my dogs going nutso and running outside, or with Adlin starting to scream or chattering away in the middle of a video, they like that because you're being real. It's who you are. It's your lifestyle. It's kind of the concept of, you know, like Jotana looks amazing. She's wearing makeup and she looks beautiful. And here's me who did a workout and got a shower and threw on a hoodie. And, you know, we are like completely opposites right now, but this is who I am and that's who she is. So if I were to go on a live video and be like makeup up, if that's a word, because I don't know. But if I were like to do all my makeup and have my hair all looking gorgeous and wear some fancy outfit and get on live video, people would be like, whoa, because normally my hair doesn't even look like this. It's like pineapple and I have on athletic clothes. So this is like a medium upgrade. So you need to be who you are, and don't try to impress people by being someone you're not when you go live, because just that small feat is going to automatically make you feel different when you go live. So you need to be who you are every single day. And if you are that person that looks fantastic and wears makeup and wears awesome clothes, be that person. If you're the person who wears pajamas everywhere and you know, wear workout clothes everywhere, be that person. Yeah, it's okay to dress up sometimes or dress down sometimes, but be who you are, because that's where you're most comfortable and that's what people are going to recognize.
Jatana, I want to ask you then, just to kind of piggyback, because I saw you nodding your head there. Is that something that you would absolutely like tell other coaches on your team or whatever, is like, just, it's most important to be comfortable in your own skin when you're going forward?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's only going to make your audience feel really uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable because you're outside of what you normally do. Oh yeah, I'm unmuted. So, and I tell this, like, it's just one of my favorite quotes. So I want to make sure I said it. In terms of topics of what to go over and what to talk about, and writing out a list and figuring out what those things are. And sometimes you can even pull your audience. I'm sure Jesse's probably taught you that.
Yep.
But when you can talk about the conversations that are in your customer's head, you've won. And a lot of times those conversations are the same conversations you've had, whether you've, like Sarah said, she's been able to overcome some of them so she can talk about the conversation she's had. When you can share that content, like, those people are going to be like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me right now, and I don't know how she knows what's going on in my head. And the buy-in and the relationship is bonded right then and there. So that's
do you get people telling you, like, Jatana, I feel like I know you. I feel
exactly.
like I have known you before. And I know Sarah has gotten that many times too. And do you think that comes from just that authenticity and also kind of getting the pulse of your fan base and your audience?
Absolutely. Hands down. Yes.
Yeah. So another big tip I want you guys to do, and I'm sure, I don't know if Jatana's done this yet, but if someone has a question for you on your page, or they ask a really good question, do a live video and call that person out. Hey, Debbie, you had a question about XYZ or whatever, or you had a question about nutrition or whatever. Let me talk to you about it on a live video. People love that. Let's go over some examples. And I'm going to ask you guys, how do you engage with your audience during the live video? Do you bring them up or anything like that? I'm going to go back over here to Sarah's page. Check these out, you guys. This is a video you did on the 1st. So this was Wednesday, right? Do I have my days right? This is one you did on Wednesday, Sarah. And this one was about 7 ways to soothe and neutralize anxiety. And here, you're not doing any pitching or anything like that, right? You just, when you start off, I think it's important, and you guys can kind of chime in because everyone has their own style, but I think it's also important to kind of say who you are and what you do a little bit, like, hey, I'm a health coach or whatever else. You do a lot of like high-end, high-ticket coaching. How do you kind of introduce that at the beginning of your video, Sarah?
So my live videos, obviously, they talk about nothing that relates to buying anything. I talk about products, like holistic products I use, like the magnesium oil. But that's obviously not even what I would want people to buy. So, it kind of is a combination of getting people to engage and letting people know who you are. So I always start my videos with like, hi and welcome. And I always say, like, I'm so glad that you're all here and you're watching. And if you could send some likes or hearts across the screen. And then I would love to know where you're from, if you'd like to comment below. Or I always like to put a question. So I title my live video and then I always ask a question. Like when I asked about the anxiety, like, does anyone here struggle with panic or stress or anxiety? And then people comment like, yes, this video, I totally needed it. Like something as simple as asking that question. And then asking people to like and hit the heart button, asking people to comment where they're from. That's engagement. And the more you get, then the more people see that, the more people comment, and then comment back to everything. And then from there, I just say, welcome everyone who's new. Please subscribe by clicking the right-hand corner if you haven't. And if you are a follower, thank you. Lots of love. I truly appreciate you. And then I say, so my name is Sarah Reagan. I'm a life coach. I work with, I do personal development, which is my favorite. And I combine that with health, you know, fitness and nutrition. And my kind of niche that I've fallen into is digestive and hormonal issues. And then I just say, I'd love to chat with you more if you can relate. My website is saraganfitness.com, or you can send me a private message and I will personally respond to you. And then I say, here we go. And then off goes my video.
So the first thing I want you guys to know is that, like, when we're starting here and she's kind of doing her video and she's going through and talking about stuff, you can just say, you know, like, hey, you guys, you know, I'm a health coach. I work online. I have a passion, and you can talk about specific niches that you work inside of. But really, the main thing is you don't have to have a website or anything like that. Just always encourage people to comment below, or always encourage private message me if you have questions. If it's a personal question, you need to talk to me privately. Encourage interaction, encourage engagement. Here's one thing I don't want you to do. All right, guys, I'm going to start this video. I'm just going to kind of wait for about 5 minutes here before everyone gets on. I'm just going to give it some time. So can you just bear with me? You know, like that's not a best practice. That's annoying. And you're going to lose people by doing it. So just go, just fly with it and go. Just, you know, start your video, do your introductions, and then get into your topic. Most people, now here's another thing that gets hung up a lot on, is people worry about the numbers too much. People worry about who's on or who's not or whatever. And I think Ken and Jitana would agree with me on this, that even if you have one person watching, go. You know, treat it like it's as many as you want to be on there. But don't get hung up early on. You guys are going to have small pages for the most part. Or you're going to have a bigger page with very untargeted people from whatever you did beforehand. So they're not going to give you lots of love. You're not going to get all this engagement. I mean, this right here, what you see that she did on Wednesday, which is purely organic engagement, this you earn by doing lots of live video and finding your tribe. You know, so this isn't something that happens overnight. Her videos didn't blow up immediately by just going live. She earned this. I mean, these are things that you guys can all absolutely achieve yourself. This one was from the 30th. This one here was from, so Monday and Wednesday. This is just of this week, you guys. So realize, and also people are going to react differently to different videos, depending on the topic, depending on what's going on. Ken, do you guys ask your audience? Do you ask your fans? How do you get a vibe about what they like?
You know, that's a good question. It's just basically from the post we did before and which ones got a lot of comments, questions, things like that. Or like I said, we just throw something out there and try it. And I think there's two different ways to go about live video. There's either you're just going on to make the video live, and then you're hoping that people are going to see the replay afterwards. So you're not actually asking for a lot of commentary and questions and comments while you're doing it. Or there's the thing like Sarah does, where she is in there and she's asking questions, and it's, you know, 15 to 20 minutes. Most of our videos are get in there, do your thing live, and then hopefully people will watch it afterwards for the replay.
Victoria asked, hey, you go live, should you say, hey, this is, state your name here, they're on your page, they should know. So Victoria, one thing we're going to get into is you can promote your live videos later on to other audiences. Never assume people know you. It could be someone who likes your page from today, so they're not going to know you. So it's good to, I think, kind of mention who you are, what your name is, and what you do. I'll show you guys the subscribe button. Let me show you.
And I think real quick, just coming off of Victoria's comment, I have a lot of people that literally will see my video going live and then they watch it. And that's the first time that they've ever followed me. And the only reason I know that is because they'll send me a private message afterwards and they'll say, like, and I've gotten about 50 with these 3 videos, and they'll say, I've never seen your page before. I just started following you. Your live video was perfect. It's what I needed to hear. I'm so glad I found you. So for me, I find that, yeah, they do know my name's right at the top. But if someone is like, oh, there's a live video, and they click on it and they want to watch you, it's just kind of nice to introduce yourself, even to people who know you, just like, hey, I'm Sarah. Like, because for me, I have a really big page, but new people can watch a video that have never followed you, do not even know anything about you or your page. So by doing that little 1 minute, maybe 2 minute intro of you, it can be very beneficial and encouraging to someone that's just seeing you for the first time.
So let me show you guys how to do that, because Sarah mentions in every one, and you guys should too, remind people, you know, for a lot of people, they never really get anything. They don't get the maximum return on their page because they're not asking people, you know, like you said, comment below, tell me what you want to hear, ask your audience. You know, like a good topic for a live video is literally asking your audience, what do you guys want to learn more about? I have, you know, we discussed some personal development, we discuss nutrition, I do some cooking videos, things like that. I grill or whatever else. What do you guys want to see more of? Tell me below in the comments, but you know, just things like that, because A, people love giving their opinions, and B, it's just going to get more feedback and love on your page in general. But I would always recommend reminding people to comment below, because then what happens is every time or not comment below, reminding people to subscribe to your videos. So all you have to do is click up here on the right. And then when you go down here, there's going to be a little arrow or whatever, and it's just turn on live video notifications. Turn on. So now it's off, now it's on. If I click again, it would turn it off. So then every time that she goes live, it'll then pop up right in here or right below here saying, now Sarah's going live, and you will increase your engagement and viewership by doing that. So always remind people that you are going live, and then ask for the, hey, give me some hearts on here or whatever. Ask for that, you guys. Hey, if you're here, give me a thumbs up. I want to see it. You know, just literally you kind of have to almost teach your audience or just not train them, because it sounds like that's an animal, but like remind them about that they're here and kind of interacting with each other. This isn't a one-way conversation. You don't want to be speaking at someone. You want to be speaking with them. So I think that's help with the framing. Jitana, when you're doing a live video and you're getting a bunch of comments, do you acknowledge them on there at the time, or do you go afterwards and kind of respond below?
It depends on the topic. I mean, if it's a conversational kind of topic, then I will interact with them. Sometimes I have something on my heart that I'm sharing and I want to get through it and share it. And I'll say, hey, if you guys have questions, make sure you're posting them so that I can answer them as we go. Or once I jump off, I will jump on and answer everybody's questions. But definitely make sure you go on and respond to everybody. But it also depends on my actual video that I'm doing.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So look at this, you guys. This was, again, from Wednesday. And sometimes you're going to get the same person that will comment multiple times too, because they're on there. Every single time someone comments, Sarah responds. You know, every single time. And these are, this is like every time. I challenge you to go find comments. Oh, Sarah missed these from yesterday. We'll have to get back to you. 24 hours, Sarah, or else it's 24 push-ups, right?
Yeah.
No, but you respond to everything, do you not?
I do. And the reason I probably miss those is because I mostly do all my work from my phone. So I try to check my computer about once a day when I have a chance, and then find whatever my phone didn't tell me. But that is something to be aware of. If you're a person who does do a lot from your cell phone, comments and like right there, like Jesse showed you, my phone has done that to me with almost every single video. So I had a viral video I shared before my video, and I had like 211 comments, and nothing was showing up on my phone. And I would go on my computer and I'm like, holy F, I have all these comments to respond to. And like I've said before in some of the questions people ask, I don't care what your response is. Like you see, I do emojis like crazy, and I only try to use like 1 or 2. But for some people, they'll just say like, yes, and I'll put like a wink smiley face. You don't have to type out like paragraphs to every single person, but just put a response there, because to them, you're responding to them. And then, you know, and you've also asked like, well, how do I know who to private message? Message the people who are putting something that can have a response. If someone just puts like, you know, this was great, I wouldn't message them. But if someone put yes in response to the question that they're struggling with anxiety and stress and panic, that would cue me to message them and say, hey, I saw you message yes. What's going on with you? How can I help? So kind of just use your common sense when you're doing the private messaging. But you can see here, like I have plenty of people that I can, which I don't need to because some of them have already messaged me, but that I could go and private message and start conversations with.
So a couple questions I want to ask, but I want to bring up a topic first. She mentioned before that, first of all, it's super important to, even if it's just, hey, how's it going? Thanks. Or thanks, like they said, thanks for all you do. You are so welcome. You know, just, hey, acknowledging their comment, not just liking it, acknowledging it. I think that's really important. Taking that extra step to, because remember, you guys, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of pages out there for people to follow. What are you doing to stand out? What are you doing on your page to stand out in a good way that Melissa here is going to remember, right? That's how you want to frame this and think about it from a, if you are on your page, would you follow you? Would you comment below your videos? Would you want to message you? You know, do you feel like you're, you know, that open person that people feel comfortable with, that want to build with and build a, you know, build a business together? Because let's be honest, that's what this is about. But doing it in a way that provides value and helps other people. So, you know, that's the first big takeaway here. And Sarah, it sounds like you kind of say if you're going to private message someone, it's more of like something like this, right? Or when they kind of talk about maybe a struggle that's similar to yours, and you would just reach out to them, and you don't. The first message is, hey, Debbie, do you want to join my coaching program?
What do you mean?
That was my poor attempt at a joke. But you don't lead with any type of sales, right? You message Debbie or Ashley here, and you're just flat out saying, hey, what can I do more to help you, right? I mean, and you leave voicemails for people. Sarah is on her phone a lot, responding to people with voicemails.
For me, it's sometimes frustrating because, you know, Jesse and I talked about this, like, how much free do you offer people before they just start sucking you dry? And you kind of have to get used to it. And for me, I've gotten so many messages, and I average so many messages every single day, that I can normally tell with about one message from a person, like, is this person just going to be like asking me for a whole bunch of help and that's it? Or are they interested? But no matter what, even if it's someone that I can tell immediately is just going to be, you know, sucking me, I still respond to them at least one time with as much information as I can offer. And, you know, when I message people from my page and it's a new message, of course, that's always a typed out message. But if I don't want to type everything, I just kind of introduce myself. I say like, hey, what's going on? And then if I have more to add, just to save myself time, I just go right to the voice messages. And anytime people are messaging me, I'm almost always do voice messages, just because it's easier and they love it. They're like, wow, you actually took the time to speak to me, not just type it up, which I'm thinking like, well, it just saved me a lot of time. But to them, it's more personable because you're speaking to them. And never, ever do I say, do you want to work with me? Here's my coaching programs that I offer, or here's my website. I just start a conversation, and it's just how I've always done it. And it's just who I am. Like, I truly want to know, like, what's going on? How did you get to where you are? Like the people that message me about digestive issues, you know, tell me what's been going on. Like, I know where you are because you posted that, but what's been going on? So that's kind of how I work forward with that. And then
so
just
it's creating a balance, and
Yep.
it's also digging deeper a little bit with what they're doing. Ken, when you're doing your live videos, are you responding to people as they come up, or do you guys kind of come back and kind of follow up after the video is done?
Usually we come back and follow up. It's usually that our phone is a little further back, and it's zoomed, so we can't see the comments coming on. We're not just sitting there having a conversation with people.
I'm assuming when you're and you do try to follow up with every person that responds as well, right?
Oh, every single person. Yep.
Yeah. And Jatana, a quick question to kind of follow up with what Sarah said there. How do you, and this is a little bit off topic, but this is going to happen when you guys get good live video. How do you kind of find that balance between, because we always talk about providing value, right? And being real and wanting to help people. But how do you kind of create that balance within your own life where you're not constantly responding to something, so that there's a little bit of a middle ground where you know that they're serious or not about really wanting to move forward?
Well, like Sarah said, you can kind of tell pretty early on in the conversation. And one of the things that I'll do when people respond and say they're asking, like, yes, I want to know more, or asking me a question about my video, I always I'll send you a PM, because if you like divulge, is that a word, everything publicly in your video in the thread, then like your audience can just read through your thread and be like, oh, good, she gave me all the answers. Awesome. I would rather people be curious and read through my thread and be like, oh wait, she's sending her PM, and she's sending her PM. Well, I want to know the answer to that too. And then they come to me.
I love that.
Message, and they're like, okay, I saw your live video and you were talking about, you know, how to make quinoa, and I wasn't sure what kind of thing you used, and you told somebody you'd send them a PM. Can you tell me what it is too? And it creates another conversation that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I had divulged all that information. But no, I have to be careful of my time. You know what I mean? I've got a family, so I use a lot of voice messaging because I think it's more personal. I get to hear my voice, the tone of my voice, and not assume tones or anything. And then based on your skill set, a lot of times you can direct the conversation of which way you want it to go.
I like that a lot. So for a lot of it too, you try to move everything to private message, it sounds like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's so much easier for me to be able to do things.
Yeah, it's so much easier. Doing the private the voicemails is definitely going to be more personal. I think it's easier too. And like I said before, when I'm responding, I use talk to text a lot, and that's right on your phone. Every phone has talk to text. Every smartphone should. So that's just an easy way. It's also conversational. But like I said, you know, when you're doing it, when you're responding to anybody, when they hear your voice, that's another way to brand yourself. And that's another way for them to recognize you, because the more you do video and the more you respond with voice, it's going to create brand recognition. The know, like, and trust factor will increase for that likelihood. So let's just end it with the last 3 minutes. I want to ask you guys, just give one tip or any advice or anything you can have for people right now that are brand new. I'm a new coach, okay? I'm a new person coming in, and I need to do this. Where should I start? What should I do? I'm an introvert. I'm scared. I'm really scared. I get stage fright, huge. Jatana, what do you say? Jatana, you have high energy. Now, I can't be like you. I'm not pretty. I'm scared. I'm nervous. What can I do?
Oh goodness. Oh gosh, you just set me up like a big old, what are you gonna do with the hardest one ever?
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, everybody has something that they're an expert at, and that's your comfort zone. And so you start with what you're comfortable with. You start with the things that you feel like your best friend would come and ask you advice about. And if you need to start as small, and I still do it, and it works for me. If it needs to start as small as like, oh my gosh, my kids bought me this present. I wonder what it is. Let's go live with all my kids watching me open my present. It's fun. It's easy. You don't have to put a lot of thought into it. So you could start there. But I love that you're doing this training, Jesse, because Facebook is majorly honoring live videos. And guess what? Not everybody's doing it. So you can be like the front runners of live and create and generate an audience faster than the rest of the coaches out there who are scared to do it. So that's one of the things that I would say is you need to get a little bit of guts and get out there and do it, and realize only a select few number of coaches are out there doing it regularly and creating that consistency now before everybody else starts doing it. They start adding commercials and all kinds of stuff on there.
Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up, Jatana, because remember, Gary Vee brought this up at your guys' summit. He said, I can tell you guys exactly what to do, but you know what? It won't matter because most of you won't do it anyway. And so don't use that as an excuse thinking everybody's doing live video, because they're not going to. Everyone watching right now won't do it, even though we say do live video because it's going to build your business. So great tips. Thank you for being on. That was really awesome stuff. Ken, tell me, you know, I'm not a fitness warrior. I'm not, I'm not a workout machine. I'm not smart like you. You know, I'm not a pharmacist. Why should I do live video?
You know, basically just pick a topic to go live first with that you don't have to be an expert on. You can just show them something. Be like, hey guys, I really want to show you something, and take your phone and show them something and just talk about what you're showing them. And like, it's so simple. And the thing is, if you totally mess up and you just get through the video to thank everybody, you can always delete it off your stream right after you're done and try again the next day with another topic, guys. It's just, you have to get out of your comfort zone and do it.
Don't delete your bloopers, please. People love them. I'm serious. You know, like we had the one with my wife and I, where my daughter just, I am talking a full meltdown where the child stiffens up and, you know, and she was freaking out, and we didn't delete that. You know, I think you left it on, didn't you, Sarah?
I've never deleted one live video.
Yeah, so don't delete them. So Sarah, talk about that. You know, like I can't be as that expert like you are or whatever. I mean, I can't go on and talk about 20 minutes of personal development or anything. What do you say to someone right now, new person, they haven't done a live video yet, and we need to help them understand how important it is?
So, you know, like all of us have said, and we all kind of have different opinions. We completely talk about different stuff. But what is awesome about live video is you do what works for you. If you have literally 2 minutes, get on for 2 minutes. If you're a person that's, you know, can get on and talk, do it. I really do try to tell Jesse, like, cut me off at 20 minutes. So I try to not let myself go past that. And I wish that I was a 5-minute live video person, but I cannot shut my mouth. But do what works for you, and that will make it easier. Like I said, be authentic. That is like the biggest part of everything. That's the biggest part of growing your like page, of getting live videos going, of getting engagement. You have to be authentic. You can't try to be anybody else. You can't try to be like the coach above you or the coach above her or him. Like, you need to be who you are. And then you need to embrace that, good qualities and bad qualities. And for me, it has taken me a while to be able to talk about some of the stuff I talk about. And I like to get on and have, you know, fun, random videos. But I also have found that being consistent has slowly over the past months or whatever gotten me to the point where the videos this week have killed it. And I'm like, finally, being consistent has paid off and people are loving my content. So being consistent, finding a time and days that work for you. We kind of say to go to 2 to 3 times a week. Every day might be overkill. You can pop in videos whenever, but try to set yourself up for like 2 times a week if you're brand new. And follow as you start doing your videos, do different times of day, do different days, and then flash back to your insights and see what tends to work best for you. And for me, I could do any day around 7 p.m. I've just done what works good for my schedule, and it's Monday, Wednesdays. So that's a big part of it, is consistency. And then topics, again, when you're starting out, it is free range. Talk about whatever you're comfortable with. Dogs, you know, your makeup, your gifts coming in the mail. If it's something that, you know, you had a bad day and you want to talk about that, or your kids got like put in detention for something, talk about anything that you can talk about, because people can relate if you're being you. And then, like I said, as you get more comfortable with live video, and you see what people are engaging with more, then you can start to really dive into who you are and open up and talk about things that you can have fun with, or that make you who you are, or that make you stand out from other people. And that's just a really big part of it.
So a couple of people asked too, like Amanda asked, how often should we go live? I think, you know, you want to go as often as you feel comfortable. You don't want to go over the top. Like I did 10 live videos today, because you can kind of lose people a little bit along that. So kind of work it around when your prime times are. For most people, the evening is the most likelihood of having the most people on. It might be different for Ken, or it might be different for Jitana, but I think for most people, the evening, and you just click on Insights and you can look at the times. There's a little it's like a graph. You can just look at the prime times. For Sarah, it's 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That gets her the most engagement. But you test that out, do different times, try different days. Maybe the weekends are going to be bigger for you. For her, it's Monday and Wednesday, you know, but it's, again, it just comes with trial and error. So I can't give you a specific time. I can't give you a specific time of day or date or a day of the week that will work better for you. It's just starting and being real. Another question Denise asked in the training was, do you recommend your first live video about who you are, like doing like kind of a big intro? No, I think just go. You know, people aren't going to look back at your first live video. So that, you know, I think just kind of introduce yourself always, remind people to subscribe to your videos, ask for a little bit of love and engagement, and then just go. And it can be just a 1-minute video. Hey, it's snowing out today in Colorado. You know, the snow sure does look pretty on all these trees. Check this out. And it does. It looks awesome. So just little things like that can be a great live video topic. You know, Jatana did one when I was there in DC, when I was lucky enough to be able to speak at the DC Super Saturday. Shout out to everybody out there. Jatana had one. Her husband put all the other husbands to shame because he gave her a Jamaican vacation literally next day. Jatana, not to put you on the spot again, but did you guys not? That was live video, wasn't it?
Oh, that's live video material right there.
He gave you a gift, just so everyone knows, he gave you a gift of a Jamaican vacation that you guys were leaving in like 12 hours.
Correct.
Yeah, and your response was priceless. You
And it
can't
was
plan
live.
that. Yeah, and it was totally live. So stuff like that, it doesn't have to be planned or anything like that. And you had no idea what you were getting. You know, so I got a lot to learn from your husband, not gonna lie. He's a great guy. That was definitely a cool gift. But anyway, I just want you guys to realize there's no real right or wrong way to do this. Just be real, be you, start simple. Why do you love coffee so much? Why do you love tea so much? You know, stuff like that. So just keep it simple, be real, and have fun with this. That's probably the most important thing. You got to be having fun and enjoy what you're doing, or you're not going to be able to keep doing it. So really have fun, and the energy and the enthusiasm and the positivity that you have in your live videos will absolutely attract your tribe. Whoops. All right, guys, thanks so much. And I will see you in the next Hangout. I'll announce it later on. More importantly, Module 3 is coming out, so be ready. Keep working on your live videos. Keep working on your posts. We'll see you in the group.